Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bald and Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
In life, you never know what crystals may just lie inside what you see. This is the NUFORC, featuring Smith-Beckel Paranormal Investigations. Uncover the gems deep inside the mysteries to see what you discover.
Hello? Hey,
Hello.
Christine. How are you? I am just finished sharing out real quick. Hello? Hey, Christine.
That was the bloody mic thing turned back on. Like, what the hell? No. Not tonight, guys.
I
Leave it.
froze. I was like, was that me?
I literally turned it off while the thing was off and it come back on again. There you go.
Oh. It's going to be a fun night. I feel it.
Yep.
Hey, Ma. Princess. Thank you for coming in.
Hello, guys.
If you guys can share out, I am just finishing up sharing out here. And then we will get started. I do have some interesting stories as well as Sherry, true life investigations, experiences of UFOs and the encounters that they had. Honestly, I didn't think it was this close to home, and I'm okay with it. But literally less than 5 minutes away from my house, it has happened. So it kind of got me excited.
How are you, Joanna, darling? You should enjoy tonight. It should be very interesting. Sis has got some interesting stuff to share with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got some odd stuff to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah. Sherry definitely has some stuff going on. And Ma, Lily is calmed down. It was the basement door when it slammed. Our cat. I had my son go downstairs and redo the breaker because I blew the breaker. Go figure. And what?
I swear I see someone standing there then. There's a black mask keeps going in and out.
That's why I'm pointing, because I see it right there.
Yeah, there's one on my screen as well though. That's what
Yeah.
I can see it like in the corner and that, and then I was seeing something in yours and I was like,
Yeah. Hey, C-Dev420. Thank you for coming in. Sounds cool. I might have to pop out for a minute, but can't wait. Not a problem, Princess. Not a problem at all. Oh, my fault.
Yep, that's cool.
Plugged in. No, Mom, it wasn't your fault at all. It was the damn microwave. But no, that's okay. She's fine. Hey, Sam. So I'm going to start with this one, which really stuck out to me because Sherry and I have had different experiences meditating, not all ET related, but this one really stuck out. Eyes, or rather.
Yeah, our meditation sessions can go either one way or another.
Yeah,
literally.
We could definitely be in a good meditation. It takes us a whole nother direction, but it's okay because we get to communicate. So this one was actually from Lusby, Maryland, which I live in Maryland. This is not that far from me. It happened 8/7/2020.
That's not that long then.
No.
That was like 2 years ago.
Right. And it was at midnight. So right, this is a possible UFO abduction case. Entities were seen. Missing time was experienced. Animal reacted to the event. Interaction with ET about them intervene in our world issues. This is from what I read, a young lady. She goes, I was getting ready for bed as I have a nightly meditation routine. I become spiritually lately and use high vibration crystals to meditate with. I made a communication grid, but have zero recall from the point of finishing the grid. I was in my room with a large window that looked over blackness. A man, but with intentionally peaceful, calming, overwhelmingly calm vibrations, was there. What stuck out most to me was his bright blonde hair, long but spiked, kind of, and bright blonde, almost white eyebrows. He was wearing a blue straight material shirt. I felt like I could see my feet as if I was standing anywhere. We were talking, but in our heads. And I got to ask him why they don't intervene and help us. He said they should only do so in case of us destroying Earth or other dimensions. I felt upset, but then he played me on a slideshow in my mind of all kinds of battles and pledges and wars from the beginning until now. And I felt he meant we are human, have survived so much, and we are likely survive this. I then opened my eyes and was on the bed in a strange position. Felt like I had no sleep and my night routine had not been done. I can remember even more extreme details, but this sums it up. So she definitely went through a lot that night, and that was really good details.
Yeah, it does sound like it. And when she said about the bright blonde hair and that very much rings out Planetanian to me.
Yeah.
Which is where we come from. They either have really blonde hair or very dark hair. But
and
a lot
this
of them
was
are blonde.
her first experience ever. No.
And it's really interesting that you say about the war thing. Like the fact is they want to help us because they know we're doing a lot to our world, yeah. But like this energy said to her in that message, and it's been said to many others, including myself, there are certain things that they can't step in and intervene with. We have to learn that for ourselves. If it gets too bad, they will. Of course they will. That's why they're showing up now, because they know that a lot of people are not learning and things. So they're coming and they're showing and they're communicating, hoping that we can break through to them in that way, instead of them having to directly come out and risk themselves. Okay.
Right.
You know, I do 100% believe that they are going to reveal themselves. They are going to show themselves, but they're going to do it in their own time. But at the minute, I think they're trying to ease the fact of their existence in by using people most connected to them for reasons.
Right.
So it really does symbolize with the things with gone through. So like, definitely with me, like, because I remember my first recall with my guys that came here, you know, like my whole thing was trying to get my head around the whole fact that I was actually supposedly supposed to be a star seed.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get my head around what a star seed was. And they were like, it's where you are human. I'm like, right. They go, but your body, as in us, is with us. And it's like it's sleeping. So when you was up there, you was asked to stay, but you chose to go to Earth. And I'm like, really? And like they were like, yes, you chose to go to Earth. Some of your people were coming from that planet and you wanted to go there as well, because the reason we're here is to try to educate people, but also because it's a way of them collecting data about us as human beings. Because we're living a human being form now, they can take data from us. They can take data from us from other people. When you guys were around each other and that, they can take the energy of both people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of the abductions, even though some have been good, some have been bad. You know what I mean? Like for some people, a lot of it is the fact that they are trying to do research into ways of making things a lot more better. Because when our world was set out, it wasn't set out to be like this. This was not any of our creators' plans to be for this world to be like this, but it happened that way because of sin and because of people's actions. Okay, so from that, they tried to work with us and they were here. Okay, but they were summoned off of their own planet, which is this planet, because of the change in us. We become abrupt, bad, nasty, like not the way that they were used to. And it confused them because they didn't understand what could go wrong. So a lot of this research and studying is studying into if it's a gene problem that they put within us, or if there's something within the earth that makes us humans react in a different way to what other planets do. They're trying to establish that. Even though they're doing really well, they've still got a long way to go. And that's why they're trying to bring all these tone things out with Dakota and all these other things. They're trying to find breakthroughs to try to get, you know, the information in that. They've got bits from us when they've took us, of course they have, but it's still nowhere near for them to be able to establish what happened. And obviously now they're seeing the world's getting destroyed and it's
falling apart
a really, really drastically bad way. And anything that affects us here affects the universe and affects other planets. Okay, you know, Earth disappearing and doing whatever will affect up there so badly. It will. Any of the planets, if they were to disappear, it leaves, how do you put it? It leaves a hole in the solar system. It does, because you got to think that was once something living, and it's just been took. That, you know, that part of that place is going to die, isn't it? So they really are trying to get through to us without having to fully show themselves yet. They don't want to show yet, not fully. That they're happy with communicating with the ones they want to communicate with at the minute. But if it comes to it, and they have to step in that way, they will. But if they don't have to, they won't. Like, they want to be able to come here on good terms, not because we're killing ourselves and doing whatever to ourselves. They want to be able to come in on a good term.
And I do believe
to be acceptance.
Right. And that's why I believe they only show themselves right now to the people that they can trust.
Yeah. And it is a lot about trust, because with them, okay, like, if you think about it, when the whole thing about aliens and extraterrestrials started to come out and UFOs and all this stuff, it was always brushed under the carpet as being something that's just rubbish. It's not real. It's not true. And, you know, even though behind closed doors, the governments and that knew they were real, there were settlements between both sides, and one side's been broke, and that's where they've been pushed out. Okay. So for them, they want to be able to get themselves back here, because this was once their home as well. There was a time where everybody could work together and live together. There was aliens helping the Egyptians, helping all sorts, and then suddenly the world changed. It just completely corrupted. There was wars, there was things going on, you know, and with them, it's the fact that they've been brushed under the carpet for so long, and all of the things that have been said about them as well, like that they're supposed to want to come to Earth because they want to kill us and they want to end the world and they want to do this and they want to do that. You've got governments and places chasing them down in aeroplanes and trying to capture them, and not capture them for a good reason. It's so they can get technology to do wrong, and it's so that they can establish how they work and how they do things. That the problem with our people in this world, they want too much. They don't see that everything should be important to everybody and that everybody should be treated the same. As my guy always says to me, we were divided a very long time ago. Okay. And people have always had the perception that we're here to just end you, and we're not. We are good.
Yeah.
We had things and we had agreements with your governments and stuff because we was part of this planet. And I'm like, right, okay, but they broke that because they then started to rebel against us and say that we're bad and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. They staged things to make it look like it was us and stuff like that, you know. And I was like, he goes, they had to step back. They had no choice, and they don't have that trust. They really have to have a connection with you to come to you. And 9 times out of 10, it'll be people that are spiritual or people that are of believing of them that they'll go to. They won't go to somebody that's skeptical and don't really know what to think. They won't go to that. They'll go to people that maybe have never experienced them but believe in it, or they'll go to somebody that's spiritually open and understands all different energies, you know,
right?
Or people such as myself, which are actually them but also human. So starseeds, indigo children, crystal children, these are all alien hybrids. They are human form, but they have another life somewhere else.
Yeah. You can have the shell of a human, but be definitely someone else.
Yeah, like we bleed, we do all the same, right? Like, I'm not going to take this mask off and there's going to be something sitting underneath. It's just going to be a skull and a skeleton, okay? But what I'm saying is that I have a life up there and I'm semi-asleep. Now, when I go and communicate and I visit, myself up there comes awake because I'm there. So we bond. So even though I can't fully see who I am because they don't want me to, I can tell when I'm in myself and when myself has woke up. Okay, so I'll be walking around and I've had experiences where I'm walking on the planet and my people are just like, because they haven't seen me for so long, because I've been gone for so long. So coming back and seeing me suddenly walking around in my alien form, like my people were like watching me like go by, even though there's been ones watching me all my life because they know who I am. But
yeah,
the thing is when we take it, we have a choice, just like spirits have a choice to do certain things as well. Okay, we could have a choice to stay there or we could have a choice to come here. For me, not so much, okay, because there is big reasons to why, which I don't want to go into yet, okay, because I'm still trying to establish it. But I was something pretty big up there, is all I'm saying, okay, and very important. So when I came down here, the connection and that does get lost to an extent because we go into a new body and we're born. So they have to search through years, where it may seem it's only been in this time that they've been searching me. They've been searching for me for centuries. Okay, I've had many lives here. They've been searching for me for centuries, but now because there's more technology and stuff coming out, they've been able to link and been able to find, and that's how I've had the experience. I won't tell you what my experiences in that are until Sis has finished her stuff, but I just want these guys are very real and they are here, okay, and take more time at looking at the sky, day or night.
Be open to what you see.
Anything is possible, and I can tell you that these that are not possible, these are real.
Yeah,
just the spirits.
And I look more into, when we first started, I did, like I always say, of course, I'm the skeptical. I got, my husband's one of those, I got to debunk it before I believe it, whatever. But I've always had an open mind to it. And just recently, within this past week and a half, I've started to have my own experiences.
Yeah.
Hearing the tones, hearing the vibrations. The humming was the very first one. And then, I didn't listen to any of because I wasn't feeling good, of the lives, but I started hearing those tones. I didn't need the live to hear the tones. And now I have a little guy behind me. Well, because in my meditation and my calming state, regardless where it's at, my room, the tub, whatever, we communicate. I'm still getting used to it. It's only been a week and a half or so. And
believe me, it'll take more than a week and a half. I'm still getting used to it now. You know what I mean?
So when I say this, I don't mean to come off anything but nice, the nicest way. But I've heard a lot of people call me crazy because of my abilities to begin with and who I am, looking into witchery on who I am in that perspective. And now hearing and talking to aliens, they're like, well, you're a freak. No, it means I'm real. That means I'm open. That means I am accepting.
Welcome to my world.
Huh?
Welcome to my world.
Thank you.
I'm apparently a Fruit Loop and everything as well, sweetheart. So there you go. Like, if that makes us loopy, then I'm proud. If that makes me loopy because I can do those things, I'm proud to be loopy.
Well, that's the thing. I will smile when they say that, and I will tell them thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
I just laugh and go,
and I'll walk away.
One of the craziest.
But that's what I'm saying. When you believe in something, you know it's there. Open your mind, open your heart, open your senses, open everything. Sherry could tell you it took me, 2 years to even open my abilities to the point I was comfortable with it.
Yeah, it took you a while, didn't it?
Because I was terrified. But now I can go into the woods or I can go with Mother Nature. I love being outdoors. I love it. Now, because of my feet and my bone spur, I can't walk out barefoot like I want to because it hurts. But I just love being out there. So it's one of those, when I'm out there, people will look at me like I'm crazy because I'm talking to the plants. I'm talking to
Not crazy.
Right. It's not. It's communication. They don't understand because they haven't experienced it.
Have you not ever heard the phrase, like when a grandma or something turns around and says, oh, well, if you talk to the plant really nicely, and it helps them to grow? And apparently it does happen. My auntie, was a really big person in growing plant stuff. She would always rub them and talk to them and stuff. And do you know what? She had the most beautifulest flowers I have ever seen in my life.
My grandmother, too.
They are living things. They have emotion. They have feeling. Yes, they don't talk and see like you in the way that we do, but they do communicate and they do give off vibration and sound and
they do
other things.
And I believe that they also feel pain. You stomp on that flower, it ain't coming back.
Oh yeah. Look, you must have heard about the trees, like when you break a branch on a tree or something, or like there was a documentary that was done where they tried to see if when a tree was chopped down, if it affects it. Now, apparently they'd done this recording to a tree and it sounded like the tree was screaming when they were chopping the tree down.
Oh, well, when you hear it go timber, that's screaming you hear because
that's
you're
screaming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it is a living thing, okay? And them sort of living things give us life.
The trees, the air, the paper to write on,
not only that, trees and plants and stuff are supposed to be connected to the higher divine and stuff like that. So you can see why it would do that. Like, that's why you'll never see me just go and pick up something off of a tree or just pick a plant. I ask for permission. I ask them if I can do that because they're a living thing. I've got no right to just pick them up, just like I've got no right to go and touch a person or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's if they want that, you know, and
just like we have nut trees here and fruit trees and stuff. When they're ready to give to us, they'll drop them.
Yeah, or that, or you'll see it on the floor. But even when it's on the floor, I still ask. I do.
Yeah.
I've just got that. I've got into that habit. I do. I'm like, I know it's all falling in, you wouldn't mind, but is it okay to take it? And I always still put like copper and stuff down to give them. I give them pennies and things as offerings and pretty stones that I've got, or put a bit of water and food down, things like that. I always show my appreciation to them. And as you were saying, Linda, sis, you know, like it took you quite a few years to open to that, but then when you do open to it, you see a completely different world. It's absolutely amazing. I've been like this all of my life, but
I mean,
I think the spiritual experience is a bit different to the easy experience.
Oh, it is.
Most definitely.
It definitely is. But I do believe that I've had the means to communicate since I've had my first experience and with my grandmother and stuff like that. But just being so young, not knowing where to go and not knowing what to do, it was just one of those, you know, what do you do? But it was just opening up is a whole new world to a whole nother life that you never know exists until you experience it. And I do encourage everybody to go meditate, go do your praying and what you do, because it won't only set you level-headed.
It will open you, but it'll only open you to the extent that you want to be open to. Don't push yourself to go further than you feel you can't. You know what I mean? Just go where you're comfortable, because even though it's an amazing thing to do and to have, there are some very dangerous sides to it as well. So you know, if you're not 100% happy in fully communicating and that, I wouldn't suggest that you do the meditating to that extent. Maybe just do a little bit to just slightly open yourself, make yourself feel a bit more grounded, stuff like that. Do your research, studying, whatever. But if you are somebody that's spiritual, but now wanting to open up and you're ready, then go for it, you know. But just to always make sure you've got your protection stuff and candles and stuff around you. Just be safe. And if you are thinking of going into the extraterrestrial realm, be even more careful. Because they're not spirit, they are living.
Okay, and it's a whole different ball game.
They can be very temperamental, especially if you're not invited. And sometimes when you do meditation and stuff, you can, if you're not doing it right, you can end up in the wrong places, and you don't want that to be going on. So just keep yourself grounded. Start off with just little bits of meditation, maybe 5-10 minutes, and just learning to feel your emotion, your feeling, how it makes you feel, listen to the sounds, stuff like that. Get used to it first, and then when you start feeling confident, then, you know, put more crystals out and start asking directly to them to communicate with you or give you a sign or talk to you. Because even though we say that extraterrestrial are different to spirit, they do still do things such as leaving signs and messages and other things as well, like spirits do. Okay, the only difference is their energy, their power, and how they are is. I thought spirits were strong, but
no, these are completely different.
These are very, very strong, and I think that's because we have a direct connection to them. Any being in this world has got a connection to extraterrestrial, whether you want to believe it or not.
Oh, and I definitely do, but and that's what I keep saying. And until, and I know some of it's true, some of it's not. Until you have an experience of your own, you're never going to believe it. You know what I mean? And that's what I get from a lot of people, especially the negative Nancy's, because trust me, there's a lot out there. And I always say,
I've had it.
Right. Until you have your own experience, you're never going to believe it. And that's just,
and that's that is the thing with our population. And this is one of the other reasons they don't like to directly communicate, because we are so close-minded and we've been taught to be a certain way. And that is very scary to them. You know what I mean? Because we have got the instinct in most of us to kill if we have to and things like that. You know what I mean? And that's not how they wanted us to be, you know. So they are very weary. They could end us in minutes Okay, but that is not what they want to do. They want us to sort ourselves out because we're dooming ourselves and we're dooming our planet is what we're doing, which is not what the plans were. So, you know, like Sis is saying, if you don't have that belief, you're not going to experience it.
Exactly.
If you're going to constantly sit there and question everything that is prominent here, you see videos and footage and things every day. How can you sit there and say that
hey,
you don't
Alan,
believe
how
it?
you
I
doing,
understand
hon?
you've got your comments and you've got your own views. I get that, but if you're somebody that wants to experience that, then the last thing you want to be doing is going, "Oh no, they're not real," because why would they want to communicate with you if you're judging them and you're talking against them?
And the fact that they don't judge us.
No, they don't. And they could, because we've done a lot of bad things, as well as almost destroying their own planets when we've sent things from here up there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we've got away with a lot. And it's because we're connected to them. And, you know, they're not these dangerous beings that the government and everybody else has tried to make out. They're not. Yes, there are evil out there. There are ones that want to end this world with us on it, that they want to be in charge. They want to be the ones that have the control. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's more good. And it's the good ones that are in charge of this planet as well as other planets. Okay. So they want us to wake up, is what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And to start sorting it out. Yeah, we're recycling, we're doing this, but you know what? There is still so much more that we need to do.
There is a lot.
If this last couple of years has not learned you that this world is dramatically changing, then I don't know what is.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to sort out, and until it gets done, I just think they're going to be backstage. You know, they're just going to communicate.
Like they'll be backstage, but they will keep prominently showing themselves because they are getting themselves ready. Because no matter what happens, they are going to come and show themselves to us one day. They are going to do that, yeah. But at the minute, they don't want to be stepping here on this plane with the situation it's like at the minute. They don't want to have to do that because it's dangerous for us and it's dangerous for them because we've got wars going on. We've got all sorts of things going on and they're not really there to do that. You know, yes, they know how to fight. Of course they do. They have to fight off their own enemies up there, but that's not what they are. They don't like to fight. They like peace and light. They want things to grow gracefully. If our world didn't do the sin that it done, we would be an eternal world. We wouldn't have to die or anything like that. The reason we're cutting off in our lifespans is because we're so dangerous. You know what I mean? So they've had to give everybody the same sentence because we're all on the same planet. So we only get so long in life because if they were to keep us eternal, you imagine all of the eruption now over all these thousands of years.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to do something like that with us because some of us are so destructive, it's dangerous.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and they're not going to stop what they're doing. I mean, their actions speak 1,000 words, you know?
They could come down here tomorrow and they could take this whole world out if they wanted to.
Yeah.
It's not what they want to do. They don't want
not their objective at the moment. They don't want to
kill their own. And we are their own. Even though we may look slightly different to them, we are their own. We were all created from the same things, okay? We all come from the same things. Yes, there's different realms, there's different places we go to, but we're all meant to be one massive, big family.
Yeah.
In the whole bloody world, universe, whatever, you know what I mean? We're all alien. We all look different. We all speak different. The only difference is their acceptance and we're not. We don't accept change. Look at how many times in our world that we've shown that. The first stuff was colour and slavery. Okay. Then it went from that into, you know, family and relationships and things that would break apart, unfaithfulness, murders in family, things, all this sort of stuff has happened here, yeah? And they've seen that. And that's not a good thing to have over your head. You know what I mean?
No.
And we're stuck in this planet. We have to deal with that. But there is only so much that they can do. They can only step in so much. They can't interfere completely because it could endanger them. You know,
Well,
like,
yeah, they can't take control. That's what we're here for. You know what I mean? Until they're ready.
they could take control.
Well,
But if they
that's
took
what I'm
control,
saying.
we
But in a
would
safety
have
way.
a serious malfunction if they took control, because we would not be used to their way of living. Believe me.
I believe that. I do.
But you know that they're amazing beings. They are. Okay, if you get to know them and stuff, and they have that faith in you.
Yeah.
And the ones that I've come across, none of them have once turned around to me yet and said that I would love to kill the human race. None of them have said that to me. None of them have. They've all said
the
we are
feeling
worried
and the
about you. We're
experience that
worried
I
about
got.
you destroying your
Right.
your world. Why are your people destroying their world? So because they don't see or understand things the way that I do. He goes, but that's why we have people like you to come here, because you're trying to wake them up. And you know, sometimes I feel like I'm not really getting anywhere. But then I have people come and send me weird messages going, do you know what you said the other day really made sense and it really made me think. And then I think I am doing
somebody
it.
walk past you.
I know. It's him.
Okay. I just...
You're real.
He actually showed himself and
Yeah.
I saw. Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, how could it... It's like a mother having its children but can't touch it or get near it. That's what it's like for them.
Think of COVID.
Yeah.
Where
Trapped away, locked away, and they can't do what they want to do because it would interfere with our fate and theirs. You know what I mean? They can't. They can only interact when they have to, when it's, you know what I mean? So at the minute, we should be using that time to learn how to love this planet better, how to love each other better, and try to make the world a little bit better. I know this is going to take a long time. Like, it's so far-fetched because of the way the world is. But, you know, it'd be amazing. At just little bits of change could make a difference.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. So I do have another report here, and this one is of this year, October 6th. So this one was just recent. At 6:15 p.m. 20 plus small black objects in the sky above, moving in a figure 8. From my apartment window, I saw at least 20 objects moving together horizontally in circular and figure 8 motion in the sky. They resemble birds in the way were high up in the sky and dark in color. If someone was to glance at them quick, the objects would not have looked out of the ordinary, but people would have likely assumed they were birds. I also was questioned if they were birds until I rewatched a recording that I took and realized the objects did not appear to flap like the wings of a bird. The objects were so high up, or maybe so small, that I was unable to distinguish their shape. If I had to make my best guess, they were circular and round rather than square or rectangle. I began to record the objects to show my partner what I was seeing. I thought the motions were strange. The objects seemed to move horizontally together as a unit. A few strangely would occasionally move much faster than other objects and go somewhere else out of my sight. But for the most part, the objects remain together as a group. And that's their pattern. That's how they travel. And yes, it is similar to birds. You see birds in a little triangle shape. Well, they do the same thing so they can stay together. If they need to, they'll separate and do their protection, whatever. But, and this is a great example of what she experienced right from her apartment window. But I can't.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They do. That is one of their favourite things to do, is doing in the triangular shape. They've got like a line of them.
Or the figure eight.
Flying together or zigzagging, you know, moving side to side.
Yeah, the figure eight, I think,
that's camouflaging as well, because they're trying to not completely make themselves aware. They want people to see them, but they don't want to make themselves fully aware. So they'll move about to make it a bit weird. You know, if you're close enough, you'll see that it's, you know, it's them. But if not,
right. And that's what she said. She had to rewatch it. Right. And after she rewatched it, she's seen that's not birds.
Yeah, no, definitely not. No.
Yeah. So I do have audio recording on here, but I have not gotten an email back, so we will not be showing that tonight. If I do get the permission, then I will be showing it on the next show. But I did get permission to read some of the experiences, but just leave people's names out of it, which is understandable for privacy. So this is another one in Baltimore, and it was done October 5th of this year, which was not that long ago. A triangle-shaped craft with a bright orange light, awkward movement, and disappeared. Notice a bright orange light in the sky that was slow moving, seemed to be triangle-shaped craft, made some awkward movements before disappearing, then slightly reappeared, only to disappear again. Did not seem like a plane, and the light was bright. So that was an interesting one. And that one, I think, was out. This one is from Ellicott City. Hey, babe. A bright triangle light. This was actually, Ellicott City is the area that we go a lot of times to go investigate, where we see flashing lights in the skies.
Yeah.
And it's not airplanes. But by the time we catch it and we see it, our camcorders are off.
Yeah, or it's gone.
And it's done.
Yeah.
Because we did that what was it, this past, I don't know. Was it this past weekend, babe? He saw something in the sky. And he goes, what's that? It was a bright ball. And I was like, I don't know. But before
I got a bright yellowy ball in the sky today. I've got it on my phone. Do you want me to show it?
Yeah.
Tell me what you think it is.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure. Like, to me, it looked like something unidentified because of how bright it was and what it was doing and that. But
yeah, and that was the thing. By the time we got a chance to react, it was gone.
I was coming back from my brother's. I was like walking down the road and that. I went to take some fresh air and take my dog out, and it was coming back. I see it, and I was like, right, is that me or am I seeing things, sort of thing? And then like, I was like, no, there's definitely something there. And I was just like looking, and I didn't put the flash on or anything. You know, I was just literally just casually walking back, and I see it, and I was just like, there's no way that's a star. There is no moon at the minute. I didn't see no moon in the sky or anything like that. And that definitely,
you can definitely tell the difference for sure. This weekend, plane coming in head on. Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure, but by the time we got to react to anything, it was gone. It was done. So while Sherry is pulling that up, this one is actually in Ocean City. This one's done 9/19/2022. So this year as well. there were lights on subjects. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, just do your story and I'll show you after.
Okay. Red light in the sky. Approximately at 9:45 p.m., a red dot lit up in the sky. It looked like a tip of a signal flare without the tail leading up. A few minutes later, there were 2 red lights blinking in sequence one after another, drawing out a triangle. This continued for a few minutes, with the dots getting closer and further apart, drawing out a bigger triangle. In the final stages, there was a total of 5 red arranged in an incomplete triangle, burning brightly in the sky. Remains still after about 5 to 15 seconds, the lights disappeared completely. And this one has pictures, but go ahead and then I'll show it afterwards.
Yeah, no, like you do find a lot of the sightings, the balls are either bright orange or yellow, or they say a metallic colour. So this is what I got tonight. So this was a couple of hours ago, guys. Now, I'm not really 100% sure on what it is. I think it is something unidentified. There was stars and stuff out, but this just was random. Guys, there's like a strange ball in the sky. Right, you've got the lamp post there, and there's that there. What the hell is that? That's got like a shape. That's like hovering, and it keeps flashing or whatever. I have got my dog with me as well, so if I'm a bit shaky, I apologise. What is that?
That is weird. I don't know.
It's in the sky. As you can see, the ground's here. And there's the thing in the sky. And it's not the moon. There is no moon out today.
No.
There is no moon. No, literally, when you look at it in the sky, it was quite big, but not massive. But I zoomed in, which is why it looks. But if let me play it again so you can see it again. Guys, there's like this strange ball.
Sis, was it moving?
Right, you've got the lamp post there, and there's that there. What the hell is that? That's got like a shape. That's like hovering, and it keeps flashing or whatever. I have got my dog with me as well, so if I'm a bit shaky, I apologise. What is that? It's in the sky. As you can see, the ground's here. And there's the thing in the sky. Now, when I was recording this, there was no sound. Now, I'd seen a lot of aeroplanes and stuff going over, but that is not an aeroplane.
No, it's not.
There's no light, nothing showing. Literally, when I looked at it, obviously it didn't look that big up in the sky, but it was distinctive enough I could see it. Okay, and it had the most brightest orangey yellow light, as you're seeing in that video.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and it was just sitting in the sky. Because the first time I see it, I was sitting on the bench with my brother. My brother looked and I was looking, and then I was like, "Do you see that, John?" And he's like, "What?" I was like, "That over there." And he was like, "What is that?" And then at first we thought it was like a star or something, yeah. But then when I got up and he walked off the opposite way and I was walking back with Dash, you could see it wasn't, because there was a shape. And the way that the glow was, that there was just no way that was. I can't explain what that was. That was really weird.
Huh. That is weird. Yeah, Princess said in Georgia, Jupiter is really close. Asteroid map and in your area for that night. It is interesting. It is very strange. Chad saw Jupiter close this morning here in Maryland. I must have missed that. But yeah, that was definitely.
Yeah, no, this wasn't no planet or anything. This was literally, this was some
you
sort
could
of
definitely
object
tell
that was
the
sitting
difference
in the sky, and it had a light glowing around it. And even my brother said it. He goes, "It ain't an airplane because there ain't none of those red and blue lights or anything." There was no lights. It was just that orangey yellow color. It was so bright, and it just every time I was like walking, it seemed like it was not moving. It was just there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got like so far up, and then I see another one, just like that one. And I went to get my phone out, and it zapped off.
Yeah.
And it was exactly the same color as that, but the one that you could see in this video was still sitting there. There was another one, but I didn't get to get that one because it disappeared.
Chad being a goober.
Uranus isn't that close yet.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah, she's at the dark phase, and I'm not being funny, but you can tell the difference between when the maiden's on the on your phone and when it's something weird like that. You know what I mean? She don't give off a yellow tinge. She's white. You know what I mean? Or a silvery color. That is. I just kept like when I got home, I just kept like playing it over and over. I was like, because even though like I have the experience in that, when you catch stuff like that on camera that you can show evidence to people, it's so bloody exciting.
It is. Oh, I enjoy it all the time.
But that's true. Yeah. Like, there's been a couple of catches now that I've got. I got that one in the live a couple of weeks ago. I had the one before that, and then I had the one that I done when I was over at Rudy's that we caught in the garden. There's been a few, and now this one. Like,
It's a strange light, but it's definitely there. Hold on.
It's definitely not. It's not explainable.
No.
I've never seen a light like that in the sky, unless it's something.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Congrats on that, Drew. You're 1K.
Oh yeah, congrats, Drew. So I am going to show the photos from. Not really letting me zoom in, but what it was talking about here is the lights, how they were flickering, and you see the other one back there. This is an Ocean City, and this is close to what I saw when we were on that ghost hunt. And they took more, but it goes around. I didn't see the triangle. I just saw the big saucer. And this thing was giant. So here's that, and then there's that. So you see the different lights. And now it's starting to move.
Yeah, and I think you'll know, one thing I've noticed about them as well, that when they sit prominent, they'll glow for so long, and then they start to dim a little bit. But as soon as they start moving,
you'll see it.
The color comes back up, literally.
And that it's bright, so you could definitely tell the difference. Of course, that was far away, but that was cool evidence that they caught. And that was right. You could see it's free floating right over the water, right out there. Yeah,
I do agree with that, Princess. If it was a planet or anything like that, it would have had some sort of pseudo.
Yeah, you would have saw that.
That distinctly had no sort of shadowing around it. It was just the light.
Yeah, no.
The weird circle ball, I call it, because that's what it looked like, a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just walking home. Like just coming home and just looking, because I always look up at the sky. I always look at the sky because I can always feel when they're round. And I was looking and I was like, first minute, me and my bro sitting together and he's like, what's that in the sky? And I'm like, oh God, no. Because obviously I'd been thinking about him and that, and I was like, shit, don't do something while he's sitting here. Like, for God's sake, that's what I was worrying about. It's like, do something while he's sitting there, but they didn't. And then he was like, yeah, no, he goes, that looks really weird and that. And then obviously when I was walking home, they stayed there the whole time. And then as soon as I got to my door and I went, it weren't there no more. It gone.
Yeah.
It's like they were watching. But I was like, I'm getting you on camera. Don't dim. Let me get you on camera. And they didn't dim. They didn't.
Good, because they want it to be seen.
They want you to see them. They want you
Yeah.
to see that they're out there. They're just not happy to stand in front of all of you at the minute until that you earn their trust. You know what I mean? Because
that's
a lot
why
of,
they pick
a lot of
choose.
guys out there, if they could get their hand on an extraterrestrial, they'd probably do pretty bad stuff to it, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So,
I believe it. So this is one of Assateague State Park in Maryland. This is literally right off of Ocean City. And I saw two stationary, very unusual bright lights above one another. Turned lights off and then dimmer switch, like you were saying. Center of the Milky Way visual.
yeah.
I was in campsite D9 at the Assateague Park in Maryland. Woke up to use the restroom at about 2:20 a.m. The Milky Way was beautiful in the clear sky. I looked at the sky to notice two very extra bright lights about center Milky Way to the southeast. They were very unusually bright white lights. Just looked like extra bright stars. One visual about 1 inch above the other. The two lights slowly went out like dimmer switches was turned off slowly. The actual stars did not change, just two stationary bright lights pretending to be stars. There was no sound or movement.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no. Princess Sis, I know you sent me them photos and that. Could I show that on Linda's show? There's this. She sent me these pictures the other day. Mm-hmm. Now, in one of them, it distinctly looks like a being, but not a spirit being. Okay. Then there's the third picture. Looks to me like several objects of a certain shape. I won't say what because I want to see if you see it as well. And if you don't, I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Right?
Okay.
Can I show the photo, please, Dana, please? Okay, darling, just give me 2 minutes, sis, and I'll send them to your messenger. Or can I bring it up that way?
You can bring it up. It doesn't matter.
Okay, and then you can just share it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get a chat thing up first. Right. Right. Is it on that one? No, I think it was on my show.
Oh, nice. From your back porch. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was at a home. Really, really interesting. Because when I see it, I was proper impressed. I was just like, Right. No, it weren't on that either, was it? No, that's right, here we go. Hang on a minute, sis. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
We had quite a little chat. Right. Here we go. Right. So I'm going to bring these up. And if you... Oh, God, where you gone? If you share it.
Okay.
Right. Facebook. Share. Right, so here, right, you're seeing some weird sort of being.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a weird shape of something here. Okay? Yeah. Then you go to the next one. I'm not really sure what's in this one, but you can distinctly see
right in the middle.
A very bright orange light here,
mm-hmm.
and what looks like a silvery metallic-y one there. Right, now look at this next picture. This is the one that I really want you guys to focus on now, and then I'll tell you what I see after you guys. Right, so tell me what you see here.
That's a ship. 1, 2, 3.
Oh God, I've just took it down. Sorry. So if you look distinctively, right?
Yeah.
Here, here, and here. Now this one looks like this is the main part of it, and you've got a bit that goes off there, which could be maybe like a walkway, and then you've got something that hangs here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this could be a medium-sized ship, or this could be just part of a ship showing.
Yeah.
Over here, this looks like a smaller sort of ship that you would see coming out of like the sister ships. Now, if you look at this one, it kind of has a long body here, and it has a big cylinder thing that goes around here, and then you've got sort of like wing things that go off. Can you see that?
That's it.
Now, this is what Princess in the chat sent to me the other day. These were also sent over to Dakota.
Those are awesome evidence.
Tell me what you see. And I said to her, I said, right, well, in the first one, it distinctly looks like a being of some sort. Second one, I said, it just looks like maybe a strange ball of light or something like that. Not sure, that could be anything. And then I said to her, like the third one, so I was like, wow, like that you can distinctly see that there are ships in that picture, or it could possibly be a huge ship and only parts of it is showing. But to me, that looks like several objects.
Yeah.
What do you think, sis?
I believe you. Yeah, I definitely see it. Especially the top one, like you said.
Yeah, and if you look here, like on this one as well, you can see what looks like a light, like maybe like a little window. Can you see that there?
If you zoom in right now, it's a little dark. I can see the outlines.
Hang on. Right, can you see it now? You see, like they look like little,
yeah,
maybe little windows or
I see that now.
And there is definitely something there as well, and there, but they're not showing, and down here, but they're not showing very well.
Yeah, that's the formation, like we were just talking. To me, it would look like a star.
It's a very strange one. That one's the strangest one. That looks like
I would think it would be the main one.
Yeah, that is the biggest one. That is, and it looks a bit. It reminds me a little bit like the starship out of Star Trek.
Yeah,
a little bit, not exactly the same, but it does remind me of that sort of. And if you look here, you can see the object. There is a little craft there. Can you see it? I've just noticed that there's a little black.
There's one on the other side too, on the right side.
Black cylinder there, and there's a little round one.
Yeah.
Right here. That is absolutely amazing, though.
That's awesome. An awesome photo.
Yeah, but that was really, really good, sis. And that's why I asked if you was all right with me showing it on my other sis's channel and that, because we're talking about UFOs and stuff tonight, so why not show some evidence that people have got?
Why not? So if
there was 3 very distinctive objects you can see, but there's about 3 or 4 other craft looking things in there. There is a few other fragments and stuff as well, but I think when you get something like that, you need somebody that can kind of blow it up and do stuff to it to make it so you can see the stuff that's underneath that's not shown properly, you know what I mean? But 3 really cool distinctive aircrafts on that. That is no aeroplane or helicopter.
No, absolutely not. That was definitely awesome.
And no flying duck or a balloon like people keep trying to say, you know what I mean? Like,
not no blimp. No.
But yeah, no, Princess, that was an awesome catch. The first one, to me, it does look like a being. It looks like some sort of weird being. It's kind of hard to explain what he is because he looked a little bit bubbly, didn't he? Like he looked like he had some bubbles hanging off of him for some reason. Have his little parachutes so he can get down.
I know, he got all tangled up.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Drew. Like in something where it can like make the color come out better, and maybe you'd see more in it, like what Dakota does for some of the videos and stuff like that. That'd be really good. She did say she sent it over to Dakota, and he thought it was very interesting.
And she said she sent you a clear picture. If you could throw that up, I think, isn't that?
It is clear, 4 ships.
Yeah.
Oh, you've sent me a clearer one. Okay, sorry. I didn't realise. Right, okay.
No, hold on.
Hang on a minute. Is it come back up? Right, let me just zoom in a little bit. Right, so here, obviously, they're a little bit smaller because she's done it at another angle, but you've distinctly got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you've got like a weird, like they've got weird lighting bits going around them. They're like in a cylinder.
But you can definitely see the lighting better on
this. That looks like something as well.
Yeah. That's why we always say take 3 or 4 photos at once.
These ones are very distinct, but there are definitely other bits in there that if it was blown up and it was coloured, you would probably be able to see a lot more. But
and that was zoomed out. Well, that was awesome.
Thank you, sweetie. That's awesome. You can take that down, sis, if you want.
There we go.
So, you know, that this is what these shows are about, aren't they? Like, if you guys have got really cool pictures or videos that you don't mind coming up and sitting up with us and showing, then please do so. You know, our shows and the Bold and Bonker Boys and stuff like that, you know, all of our shows are to help people like you that have had experiences to get out there and to talk about it. Don't ever be ashamed or feel that you need to hide who you are or what you've experienced. Like, don't hide it, because believe me, it's not as unknown as you think. There is a lot of people saying about it. Even people that once didn't believe in it are starting to come out saying, oh, I've seen something really strange, and you know, talk about it. That's why it's good to be in these sort of communities, because you can be yourself and you're not going to get judged, you know. And so and you can get really cool stuff like this, you know.
Great evidence. Definitely
having
great
your
evidence.
work put out onto the page, you know. She just had pictures put up there, you know. If we really believe in something, and you know, we think something looks really good and things like that, we will do that for you, you know what I mean? And that, when she sent them to me, I was really blown away by it. So I thought, you know, like, I forgot we was doing a UFO show today. I totally forgot. I was like, I wonder when the next UFO show is going to be. So I'll ask her if I can put them up there. Fake. There you go. I just forgot that we had one like that today. So
yeah. And like Drew said, if you don't ask questions, you don't get answers. Yeah.
And then you'll never know.
Don't be afraid to ask.
And through doing that as well, it'll help you to understand your experiences, because for some of you, you may be experiencing a lot more than just seeing the ship. You know what I mean? Like what I've been going through, and Sis is starting to go through, you know. So it's really good to be able to communicate and connect with other people that have experienced it, or even people that have got that interest and are in the, you know, research and investigation site.
Yeah, it's true. What Chad said, only dumb questions, the ones not asked.
Exactly. And then you kick yourself after, you know. These sort of shows are there to give you that opportunity to say what you want. You know, Bold and Bonkers have got a documentary about UFOs and experiences coming out. If you really want to be in it,
let us know.
Speak to the lads.
Yeah. Shy kids get no sweets.
Shy kids get no sweets, as my old gran would say. Exactly. You don't get what you don't ask for. Like,
yeah.
You know, I get that it's scary. I do, because I remember my first ever experience was actually just seeing the lights. And that was from a very young age. I'd just see lights. I really didn't think very much of it. But growing up and listening to my uncle a lot, my uncle was really fascinated with UFOs and aliens. He would always speak about it. The only thing I always thought was a bit far-fetched was the alien abductions, okay? I always thought that was a bit random. Why would that happen and stuff like that? And I continued to see these lights. Then my first proper experience was with my first time going into doing the paranormal investigations as my own leader and taking on my own team. And I'd been coming home from a friend's home, and I was in the car with a friend. We were driving down the road where my auntie lived. Now we see a very tall, distinctive figure, very funny looking, didn't look human to me, and it had the most greenish glow around it. I put a video up on my YouTube right at the beginning when I first started out, saying the search for the green spirit or something. This green spirit wasn't a spirit, it was an alien. And I know that because I have been doing certain tones, and I've been talking to my guys, and they said that first experience wasn't the UFO, it was the green spirit that you think was a spirit. It was actually an extraterrestrial. It was one of your watchers. He was an extraterrestrial. Now I didn't think he looked very spirit wise, but at that time, even though I'd seen strange lights, I never really looked very much into it, even though I believed in it. So I didn't think it was alien or anything like that. I just thought, I presumed it was a spirit until I've been informed.
That's what we're used to.
So from that, they obviously wanted to reach out. They wanted me to know who I was, because they knew that I believed. They knew that I was acceptance to all things. All of the spirituality that I'd gone into, they'd found me. So they wanted to make some sort of communication. Okay. So through doing that, they abducted me and my friend in the car. Okay. Like, we'd come back. It was about 12 o'clock at night. By the time we got to the junction, it had been about 12:05. Okay. So we've come to the junction. There's no cars. There's no nothing, anything about. And we see this very strange, metallic-y looking, triangular shaped thing over from us. It starts coming, and there's this very dim light, not bright, just a dim light, where as it was coming over towards us, we're sitting in this car with our mouths wide open because we're seeing this, and we couldn't believe we were seeing this. Okay. And we're just looking at this object coming over towards the car. So I didn't remember everything that happened, but because I've been having these premonition things, I'm starting to see things now. And they showed me a vision where I slightly wound the window down to see if I could hear anything. There was no sound from this object. Okay. This object's right above us. Wow. We could see it through the window screen. So I've put the window back up, and then we've seen the triangle underneath. It was a triangular shape, but there was a triangular shape moving like this underneath it. My friend, I will not give his name for safety reasons, and because he's a bit sketchy about this stuff, and he's never been the same since he had that experience. So I don't really want to.
And that's understandable.
You know, he sat there with his mouth wide open, and then he like looked at me and was like, "What the hell is that?" I was like, "I think that's what you would call an unidentified flying object." And then literally the light was that bright, it blinded us, and we were gone. Okay, now we do not remember seeing ETs. We do not remember seeing inside the ship. All we remember is seeing the light before. And then when we come back round, we weren't at that road anymore. Okay, the road, it had carried us from that junction all the way up to the road, up to the end where I live, which would have took about 10 minutes to get to. Okay. And I'm like, Dave looked at me. I've just said his name now, but it's all right. I won't say his surname because that's what I won't give out. It's his surname, because I don't want people chasing him or anything like that. So
yeah, no. Have respect.
We sat in the car and we was like, what happened and whatever. And he goes, how have we got here? And I was like, well, I don't know, Dave. Right. And he's like, well, the last thing I remember is seeing the object. And I remember saying to him, I think we should just go. And he put his foot down on the pedal and the car would not move. But then we took, and we're at the end of the road, and we're sitting there, and we've gone like, what happened and everything. And then Dave was like, well, how did we get here? And I was like, I don't know. I just remember seeing that ship, that thing that was over us, and that's it. And I said, what's the time? Because obviously when we'd got to that junction, it was 12:05. He goes like, no. I was like, what? He goes, it's 2:05 in the morning, Sherry. Where the hell have we been? It only felt like 5 minutes. But 2 hours had gone. Okay. Now, I remember for days after feeling funny, like I'd been fiddled with, not fiddled with in a bad way, but like things had been done. I felt really funny. I could feel something around me all the time. Dave kind of just went into himself for a little while and really did not know how to process it. Because anything UFO, alien, spirit freaks the hell out of him. It freaks him out. You know what I mean? So I was like, I had these feelings and that. And then obviously from that, I continued to see the lights, and I've been having these dreams for quite a while now, where I'll go to bed and it's like I've woke up in my bed, but I haven't woke up in my bed because I'm in the front room. And I'm stood in the front room and I'm looking at my back door, and this white light that I remember seeing when I was with Dave was shining through my back window. And every single time you see me go into this light and that, I'm gone. And when I come back round, I'm in my bed.
Huh.
But every time I've always felt like now more, I can tell when I've visited. I remember when I visit now, I remember
more regulation
things now. They can't not take me now without me not knowing. I know completely. I'm completely connected. But at the beginning, I wasn't. So for me, it was like, obviously, like when we had the abduction, I was just opening to the fact of that there's something in front of me, like sort of thing. So they've took me, that was their way of trying to reach out to me, like, Sherry, we need you to acknowledge us because you're more connected than you think. You know what I mean? And then who I am supposed to be, I can understand why. Okay, so for me, and it's not all been, I've been acceptance of it the whole time. Do you know, it took me a long time to get my head around the whole fact that I was a starseed.
Oh, I believe it.
I would sit there sometimes thinking I was going crazy when I'm getting certain messages and stuff like that. But it's a new thing. Even though I'm spiritually open and I communicate with spirits, it's completely different talking to them. Completely different. And, you know, that was my experience. And obviously I've had experiences now as well where I've been catching UFOs that I believe are UFOs in pictures and stuff like that. And all of the weird communication that we have on panels, and I do directly communicate with ETs as I do with spirits. I know some people think that I'm crazy for that, but you can think what you want because I know what my experience is real and true. So, and I've got some, like Sis said, it's one of those experiences that you've got to experience it to understand it, sort of thing, you know what I mean? And I wasn't always so forthcoming about it. I've always believed, but I was never so forthcoming. I never believed in abductions till it happened to me. You know what I mean? So, and poor Dave will be scarred for the rest of his life, literally. Yeah. If you'd have seen his face, it was.
Oh, I believe it.
You know what I mean? Because what the hell? You know what I'm like? I'm just like staring because I'm like, what the hell? Like, there's only things you would normally see on TV or something. You know what I mean? And I was just like, well, it's above me, like. You don't have to be in,
and that's true. Yeah,
you can just jump into. You do need to be eased because there's a lot of information about who you are that needs to be found. On top of that, if you are like directly connected to ETs and stuff like that, there is a lot of a past life to do with them that's involved in this, and this can bring out a lot of trauma in you as a human being. Okay, so they really do have to learn you slowly. They had to decode how to with me. Like, he couldn't just throw everything on me and let me experience everything at first. He was just like, "What? Do your meditation, do this, you know, just ask your ET friend to just like give you little inklings about you and stuff like that." And it gradually worked me into it. And now I'm not scared to look or face anything to do with them, you know what I mean? But for some it takes longer. But don't attempt.
Not if you're not ready, don't attempt it. No, absolutely not.
That's all I'm saying.
Just like I just started, like I said, about maybe a week and a half ago, and I'm going to take a while.
Yeah, like I'm not saying don't go outside and try and catch pictures or video. That's fine, but just don't try to directly communicate with them until you have a bit of an understanding about it. Okay, guys, because once you get them connected to you, there's no getting rid of them.
No,
just like they're there isn't. So
just
there's
like you have a guide.
learning
Guide's
curve.
there for a reason. Yeah.
And I'm still learning. I won't even say that I'm qualified or fully educated in ufology. I'm not. I was somebody that always believed but kept on the back fence about all of it. I didn't really make a big thing about it until my experiences and that. So for me, this is really a learning thing because,
oh yeah,
you know, it has, even like doing the languages and stuff with them, and you know, like them trying to learn me little things as well. But sometimes I can't get my head around it all. It's like, what? Really?
You know, that's totally me.
Yeah.
and that's normal. You know, that's normal to want to understand it and wanting to do everything. So I do have one more photo to show, and this is of the beautiful Annapolis. But this was a photo taken by somebody's best friend to frame and put up on their wall until he sees something mysterious, and it wasn't the sun because it was going down. So if you see the sun here going down, and then over here.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then right here.
Yep.
So he asked his friend what it was, and he goes, I don't know. So we wound up turning it into the
I think there's more. You've got the really orange one there, then you've got one above it, you've got one over to the left, and then if you go directly above from the left, you can see a little one sticking out in the cloud, in that little cloud bit up. No, go over, go up, go over slightly to the left. And you can see it there. There's one there, and then there's one that looks like there's one right over, right, like in that angle, going right across to the end of that cloud. You can see another one there as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So they're definitely there. I mean, he was just given this because it's a beautiful photo. I mean, I agree, but it was just something that caught his eye, especially what's hanging here. You see that? Touching the lighthouse.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And that's what that they are out there, guys. And yeah, no, I understand what you're saying there, Drew. I don't think it's so much that I wasn't ready. It was just very new to me, and I needed to understand and learn it a little bit more. And my guys that are here wanted to work with me a little bit better, you know, like to help me to understand and stuff. But yeah, very much so. It did take a lot to get used to it. And I understand as well. You're saying it's scary stuff. It is scary stuff. It was for me when I first started learning and things, you know. So it is scary. And the fact is that they're not here to take you and keep you.
No.
You know, that they don't want to do that to you. Yeah, there are some out there, but a lot of these good ones are there to protect you, and that's not going to happen to you. If that's the case, then I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you now.
Exactly. We wouldn't be doing our own research.
Many times I've been having a lot of visits recently, so they are not there to do that to you. No. They're just there because they're trying to communicate and connect, and that's all they're trying to do.
Yeah. But we have been on here for about an hour and a half.
Our shows always go on because we're always interesting, sis.
Always. And we just lose track of time when we have fun. I love it.
Yeah, you need to be ready and learn to trust them. Yeah, you definitely. If you don't bother trying to communicate or do anything with, if you don't trust them, because they'll click on that straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah, you can't be hesitant because they'll know
that they're coming.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it took me a while to interact and communicate and start to feel their presence.
You needed to find how you felt about it first. I mean, right. They were very aware of that. They know that you need to
and they were there. We've seen them.
And when
they were here in the house.
In your head, and they're like, she's ready.
Right.
Like, that's why they've done these little things. You know what I mean? It starts off little things, just gradually getting more and more and more until you're comfortable with it. You'll start noticing probably lights and things first, and then it'll be a little bit more. Maybe you'll hear a voice, or, you know, it prolongs and it gets more.
Yeah. So, I mean, they do little tests. I've seen them here in the house. Sherry's seen them.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it was just one of those.
My ones are never gone, even though they're not always here. They are here. Like, because they can be in more than one place. They could be in their planet, but still communicating with me here. You know what I mean? So it's really random.
Yeah.
Really, really random.
So, I mean, you just have to be open, and you got to trust them. Because if not, it's not going to work. They're right, you know.
I did also say to you that I was going to do a stream tonight, guys, but it's coming up for 1 o'clock in the morning. There's no way I'm going to be going out at that time of night. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow, you're going to have to tune in for me tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing a UFO night watch. It'll be just after midnight, because I think the later it is, there's no car pollution or anything like that. There's no noises going on, and, you know, everywhere's clear in the sky and that, and we've got more of a chance of catching something again.
Yeah.
So I think this week, with Halloween coming up, the veil is very, very thin. So a lot of the activity and things are showing a lot at the minute. So
oh, yeah.
It'll be tomorrow night, guys. So check me in for about 12, half 12, guys. Just keep an eye out for me on my channel, Paranormal.
I will definitely put it in. And
investigators, and I'll be on there.
And I will have a spooky story night tomorrow night at 6:30. We are doing True Tales of the Ouija board.
Ooh. So is that an hour long show, sis?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So you're going on. So that's 11:30 my time, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, 11:30, 12. Right. So check me out at just after half 12, because obviously I want to be there for Sis's stream. So it'll be after the stream.
Yeah. So it'll only be an hour. But these are actual true stories from people's experiences with the Ouija.
Okay, Drew.
So, hi, Drew. So we are going to get ready to hop off, because I do have to get a little girl that keeps popping her head in to bed.
Yeah, I see it.
She hears Sherry.
Guys, we hope that you found it interesting, and don't forget, if you do have any experiences, or you want to join us on a show and that, please just let us know. Don't hide your experiences. Be open.
The more experiences, the more education people get.
They're only
going to know from experience. So it's just one of those, if you have the experience, let us know. If you don't want to be up on panel, but you want to share your experience, email one of us, Facebook message us, or send a whisper through Twitch, or, whatever the case may be. So that way we can share your story. We don't have to announce who you are. If you want to be announced, then that's fine. We'll respect whatever wishes you want. So from there, we are going to say, love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.
Love and night.
See ya.
And we parting.